So, hi, this is Richard D'Ambrosio. We are talking with Lulu Lima, Book Here, Give Here Travel out of Austin, Texas. Lulu has been spending a big portion of her time during the pandemic trying to use Facebook Live to elevate her awareness, to get more people into sales funnels, to understand what destinations and suppliers seem to click with her followers. And she has been working like a demon to get these Facebook Lives in. How many have you done, Lulu?
Hey, as of today's date, I've done about 77 of them now. So, yeah. So I've had it a couple more since the last time we spoke. So I'm almost at 80. My goal is to have 150 by the end of the year. And so I'm almost halfway there.
So let's go back to when you were you first thinking about doing this. What was the catalyst for you to start saying to yourself, you know what? I want to start doing some Facebook Live interviews. Did you originally start with a plan of I want to do 150, or did you just say I want to do this, and then all of a sudden you started to gain momentum?
Yeah, so it was the latter. I got hit really head on in January with a lot of the China travel being canceled and so forth. So I already had the writing on the wall. So when it was March and everybody was just getting hit and they were going through all of the mourning phases, I'd already gone through that. So I was already ahead of the game by 6 weeks. And so being able to project what was coming, I had already started to think and, again, go through all my emotions. And so I said, well, the next thing to do is to create content. If I can't travel, I might as well create it. So the whole concept of dream now, travel later, travel leaders started using it. Everybody else started using it somehow, some way. And I said, you know what, I'm jumping on this bandwagon. And Dream Now, Travel Later became my series as well. And as it became my series, I started to go, okay, who do I know in the industry? Where is this going to work? So I started literally texting people that I knew. That means anybody on my cell phone or on my Facebook page. I even went out on my LinkedIn and I was like, okay, I've been in the industry 23 years. I know people. It's not like I'm just starting to make friends, right? Or I'm asking for things from people that don't even know me. I've got an establishment. So, hi, this is what I think I want to do. Are you on board? And it wasn't like, hey, I just want to do this. I just want to kind of go, hey, let me showcase what you have to offer. No fee, no nothing. I was starting off doing these on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 2:00 Central. And that went from Monday to Friday. And it went sometimes twice a day. Maybe I was doing 11 and 2. And then all of a sudden I started adding more. And then all of a sudden, some days were 3, some days were 4. And I was like, shoot, I really need a calendar because it was getting out of hand. And I'm doing all of this off of my cell phone in terms of scheduling because my email, which is another whole other thing, doesn't sync with my calendar. So I had to use my Gmail to literally sync everything. And I was like, okay, this is the only way this is going to work. So playing around with a lot of, different technologies and things like that. And then you introduced me to Be Live. And I was like, this is really cool. So I found a way through AppSumo, by the way, love them, to be able to get Be Live for a lifetime subscription. So I paid like $129. I never pay again. And I have unlimited amount of space, unlimited amount of videos that I can go live with. And it's awesome. So
I think the annual subscription is $129.
Oh, now I have a lifetime.
Congratulations.
So I paid once and done. That's why I love AppSumo.
Did you create a system for choosing who was going to be on, for preparing them in advance? How did you systematize this, given that you went from 3 a week to, I think at times I saw you doing like 10 or 12 a week?
Yep. And so I started to kind of create, so I have this email creation, so to speak, in terms of, and it's evolved. And it basically says, hi, I'd like to invite you during this period of time to work with me in creating content to keep my followers and my clients inspired about travel. Will you join me? So it's an invitation. There's no, you can say no. It's fine. And so I went to the tourism boards, I went to DMCs, and I went to some local suppliers. And depending on the time, I was getting a lot of pushback at one point. So it was more suppliers or DMCs. And then tourism boards started to pick up because they realized the value of it. And the fact that I wasn't charging them, because people who were charging, nobody was making money, right? So at least at this point, if we're doing this together and if we're collaborating, we're doing it for the greater good. And so I was able to tag whoever I needed to tag, and on Facebook, using my Facebook pages, and then I would replay it in my Facebook travel group. And then it dawned on me, let me go out and talk to my media people, and let's clean up some of these videos. Let's put them on YouTube, and let's put them on my LinkedIn, where I have 6,200 followers. Let me put it on, on other social medias. I can easily, once it's on YouTube, I can link it to Instagram with a picture. Yes, I can put it on my business on Google, and you just got to play with it. So I hired a company that was cleaning up my videos and things like that, and I kind of wanted them a little raw. So, but the branding was off. So they only did 10, and I started back from scratch. I hired somebody else, and they're in the next month and a half, 2 months, all of the videos that I have done are going to be completely branded, same branding with an intro, an outro, an ownness statement, and it's going to just be, the branding is going to be there. There's going to be a hologram version of me or a digital version of me, and I'm excited about that because I'll be able to tell a story. I'll be able to fly. And so, and I can be in 2 places at once, right? So I can be in Germany, and I can be in Switzerland, and I can be home in Austin because the digital version of me can be everywhere. And it's great. And so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about helping another colleague, another small business owner like myself, come up. And at the end of the day, we're all inspiring travel. We're finding ways to do virtual reality travel. This is like the next step. Another thing that I did was actually get a digital business card. So my digital business card, when you text travel to 21,000, you're going to get an opportunity to have an ocean. And unfortunately, because of the companies, the phone companies, who have to manually turn on the sound after it completely loads, that's when you'll hear the oceans crashing. And it can literally, so you don't have to pay for a calming app or anything like that. Just pull up my digital business card. It'll work for you. It's a great white noise.
Had you ever done Facebook Lives prior to this?
Not really. I think I went live like maybe every so often, like here and there for like a minute or two, like saying, hi, how are you guys? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. But no, all of a sudden I just went, time to turn it on.
So what was that like? I know with doing a lot of videos myself with people, it makes them nervous.
I get a lot of that too, where people were like, oh my God, I'm so nervous, this and that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm taking all that onus away. All you have to do is show up and talk. I'm the one managing the presentation, because Be Live is not like Zoom where you can share a screen. I actually have to do the presentation on my end. I have to manage it. I have to, a video, it's not playing. I got to switch screens. So I took all that onus away from the guest. So I became the interviewer as well as the technician. And when things didn't work or sound didn't work, I just improvised. That's what happens when you go live, right? You just improvise. You just kind of, you go
all the time.
You go with the flow.
I just finished trying to interview somebody from Jamaica on 2 occasions. Her internet conked out and we had to cancel the live interview. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how much other business were you doing? Because you were so busy. You were constantly popping up in my Facebook feed that you were live. I was getting your notifications. And I was like, when does this woman have time to run her business? Did it take you too much away from running your agency?
No, because there really wasn't anything happening. So rather than sit here and sulk and be, oh my God, travel is over, whatever. Look, I lived through 9/11. I've been in the industry for 23 years, as I mentioned earlier. I have seen the ups and downs. I have worked for companies like Travelocity and Travel Zoo and Lowe's Hotels. So I've seen the ups and downs. I've done revenue management. That's my background, in addition to food and beverage. So I can forecast and I can see stuff. And so I just said, you know what? This is what's going to help me. Whenever this ends, this will help me get to that next level.
Have you noticed anything else on your Facebook page, like the number of followers growing, or did you see any other effects from all of this effort that you weren't necessarily thinking about when you started it?
So another thing that I did was also join a lot of networking groups. In the 5 years that I've been in business, I had zero need to network outside of the industry. Everything I had gotten was word of mouth, and I was doing pretty good. So I really wasn't even thinking of it. And my girlfriends were like, now that you're home, you're not traveling, and everything is virtual. Network, find new clients. So I literally started doing a lot of networking in combination with these videos and to promote these videos. And I now have an increase in likes. Have I lost some people? Yeah, but I think I lost people that I had probably purchased them a long time ago, and they were useless to me anyways. Now the people who are liking my stuff are asking questions. They're engaged. They really are excited about everything that's going on.
So how difficult was it to get interview subjects? I mean, I have participated in as many webinars as you've published. Because like you, I've got a little bit too much extra time. And it's interesting to see the sales styles of different salespeople. So I sign up for a lot of this stuff just to kind of pick up on that. And I've often seen people presenting who shouldn't be presenting. Was it difficult to find interview subjects who you could trust could do a good job?
I didn't necessarily think in that light. I had a conversation with them and I go, are you passionate about your destination? Are you interested in showcasing it? Are you in the same boat as I am? That all we need to do at this point is keep people inspired, let them think that they have an option when all this is over of what they can do. And if you felt the same way I did, and your business model aligned with mine in terms of, I want to focus on the small business owner, I want to focus on keeping travel sustainable and equitable, then we're aligned. And I will make the conversation happen so that it'll be good. I may talk over you, but that's okay, because that's just my New York style.
So did you ever give them like advance, hey, I'd like you to open this way, do this, or was it their canned presentations and you just trusted that they knew what they were talking about?
So I asked for the presentation. I started asking for the presentation at least an hour or two before we went live, just so I could kind of quickly take a look. When the hour or two when I started to need more time, I started asking for a day before. And so 99% of them were good and ready to go. Not a problem. That 1% were, you know what, this is a little too trade specific. I need it more consumer. And so I'd be like, listen, I'm going to adapt it. And I would tell them what I was doing. Some people would just send me pictures and I'd be like, all right, I'll throw it up on a PowerPoint. And then that'll be, and these pictures are going to guide our conversation. And there are destinations that I haven't traveled to that I didn't know about. And I just went with it. I did a little bit of homework, did a little bit of reading on what is the destination? What does it excite? And who does it excite? There is some guidelines that I do give everybody. My itineraries focus on wellness, gastronomy, and off the beaten path. And lately, because of homeschooling, I've also been focusing on if you're a parent and you're homeschooling, make travel a living classroom. So those are kind of like the messaging that in my emails and in my coordination of my interview guests, I've made sure that we covered those pieces.
Was it tricky having so many and promoting them in advance, or did you just go live?
I just went live, never promoted. Because if for whatever reason we meaning myself or the interviewee, had difficulties, I didn't have expectations. So, and by going live just willy-nilly, it kind of created a suspense for people going, oh, look, Lulu's live again. Because I think that's kind of how you were like seeing it. You were going, oh, look, she's live. There was nothing to expect. You didn't know who I was going live with. You, for all you knew, I was talking to Putin.
How many countries do you think you probably interviewed?
At least 40 or 50. So there's 197 countries.
So how was the time zone wise? Was that difficult?
That was fun.
Because you're in the central time zone. It's not like you're the one who could have changed your time, because if nobody's watching, it's not worth it.
So I worked with some folks at different times. Some of my European folks, we did them about 10 in the morning Central. So that was still, it was early enough for us, but late enough, for them. And in terms of watching, and the thing is that I wasn't too concerned about who was watching it live. I just wanted to do it live. I wanted the rawness. I wanted to record it. And if questions came in, muzzle tov. And if they didn't, that's okay too. Questions did come in afterwards. Watch parties happened. And then after the watch parties, sharing of the videos, sharing of the links. It just happened. And then YouTube happened. And then, and that's what excites me now, because now I'm going back to videos that I had done early on. And because of, openings, not openings, closing and things like that, all things have been shifting. And I'm going, well, I'm repurposing these videos. I'm creating these videos with an evergreen concept now. So in 5 years from now, most of it won't change unless things blow up.
Let's hope they don't.
You know what I mean, but like what I'm saying is that
no, I don't. We've had
unless it's a volcano that like takes out, half the Caribbean, or a tsunami that things go under, that a lot of this stuff is going to be evergreen. Yes. In terms of the experience you're going to have in Antigua is going to be the same. It's still soft adventure wellness.
Did you have the same set of questions generally for everybody? Did you follow a pattern of what you were going to ask?
Nope. It was all winging it. Every single one. I look at it and I just kind of go, so how do we get here? And look at that. We can easily fly into blah, 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 blah. And, and start talking, or take a ferry, or take a train, or did you know? Again, I did some homework prior to, right? So, and I also did a lot of opportunities to talk about what was important in terms of my personal experience, whether or not I had gone to the country. So when I did Georgia as a country, I had never been, but I read some stuff. I did the destination specialist program. So that was kind of my way of going, okay, I know a little bit about what's going on. And so these videos are meant to make me destination specialist. These videos are meant so that even if I don't have a firsthand account this very second, I know somebody who next to me, one level away, that has a firsthand account. And that's who I'm interviewing. I'm interviewing that, so if I've had the firsthand account, great, now there's two of us. But if not, there's one person away. I'm one person away.
What was your favorite interview? Can you, off the top of your head, say, this was the one or two of my favorites that I just had so much fun doing?
I've had fun doing them all. I look forward to them when they're scheduled and when they're coming on, because I'm like, oh, and like I wake up in the morning and I go, who do I have scheduled today? Because now I'm on Calendly, right? So it's not like everything just kind of pops up and it just looks and so even though the night before and everything else, I've kind of taken a look at some of that. But the countries that I love the most, obviously, are going to be some of my favorites. Switzerland. When you see the Switzerland one, you'll see, because I lived in Switzerland. For me, it's home. So I brought my cowbell on and I got to, ring the bell and show off all my little Swiss gear and things like that. So that made me feel, again, it was, I was tied more to that video. Bermuda is super connected to me because that's where I learned to swim. My sister learned to walk and swim, and we used to go there as a family unit every year. That was our summer holiday, and my parents would rent an apartment, and we'd be there for anywhere from 10 to 14 days. And sometimes we had extended family there, so we may have 2 or 3 apartments. Sentimental value. Mexico. I mean, I went with Kitsia. I interviewed her, and she gave me her presentation was her dream trip around Mexico. So in my requests for these videos and to do these things, I have basically turned around and said, you're the expert of your destination. You come to me and show me what I need to tell people. Let's have that conversation together. And it's a conversation. It's not just somebody talking. You've heard these videos. It's not, I mean, I do let them talk and I do let them explain, but I'm butting in. And I'm really trying to kind of guide it. And I'm also trying to keep it so that it's somewhat timed. We started with 30 minutes. And now we're between 30 and 50 minutes, depending on the episode. It also depends on if English is their first language or not.
Were there any that you ended up going, oh my God, that one was awful?
Yeah, but that's okay. I still love them.
I don't want you to point out who was awful.
Nope, I won't. I refuse.
Do you know why it didn't go well? Was there a pattern?
Yeah, English wasn't the first language. That's usually the hardest. When English is not the first language and they're struggling to figure it out. And I don't want to switch to their language because my viewership is in English. But yeah, those are the ones that I struggled. And I can't pause live. The other thing is that when sometimes I froze or they froze, or if BeLive automatically kicked me out, and they were just kind of sitting there going, la, 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 la. And I was like, well, you have to wait about 60 seconds or so for me to come back.
Yeah, technical issues, please stand by.
So it happens, and that's okay. And then we get to see, and then that's one of the reasons why those videos are getting cleaned up.
So to wrap this up, if travel advisors are watching this, if suppliers and destinations are watching this, you
Okay.
perhaps are the single source of the most activity like this in the last 6 months. I don't know anybody who was doing the volume you were doing. So
Thank
you
you.
are now the expert by default, strictly by how much effort and time you put into this. If you were to give 2 or 3 tips to anybody looking to rank, not to do your level of craziness, but to ramp up their live videos, are there 2 or 3 top tips you'd give?
Um, Find a platform that works for you. Have a backup platform. So as an example, Zoom is my backup platform. So it's pre-recorded. Um, Become the expert in your field, meaning that your audience needs to know that you're an expert, period. You are an expert in travel. This is your baby. And when they realize that, it tends to be a better conversation. Even your friends and family switch their conversation and switch how they treat you. So I think that's really important. My family conversation and my friends' conversations have gotten to a better conversion and less work for me because they now, oh, you've got a TV channel. It's YouTube, but I've got a channel. And it's not one video, right? It's so that helps. Another tip I would say is start off with what you know, go to what you want to know, and then after you've kind of covered that, then go to what you think your consumers want. And why do I say that? Because yes, your consumers may want something that you don't know yet, but if you can start off with what you know, you already sound like the expert. So it's winging it, until, fake it till you make it. Okay. So start with what you know, go to what you want to know because you get excited about that. And the stuff that you're not so excited about, but you know that other people want to know about, you save for last. Because by that point, you will have already gotten to the point of, well, if it's not so exciting for me, I know how to fake it to make it exciting. And no one's going to know the difference.
Oh my God, Lulu.
But it's true.
It is. It is.
Why
Um,
fake something from the beginning and then you stutter and then you're like, I can't figure this out, or I made a mess. No, you just go with it. It's easier.
so,
It's easier just to do what you know.
so what we're going to do is we are now going to do an analysis of Lulu's results. We'll be coming back with part 2 of our discussion with Lulu Lima, Book Here, Give Here Travel, Austin, Texas. And after we've had a chance to review how this has impacted her followership, her likes, we're going to look at which days of the week seem to have done better, which content seem to have done better. And we're going to kind of come back and do an analysis live with you guys. So stay tuned. We'll hopefully be publishing that video close into this one. So Lulu, thanks so much for your time today. I know you've got a
Pleasure.
hard stop in a couple of minutes, and I do too. I cannot wait to see some of the results and start to figure out your strategy going forward.
Yay! I'm
Yay.
excited. I'm excited for this whole project. Yay!
Take care, dear. It's always good to see you.
Namaste. Until the next
Namaste.
time.
Bye.
Bye.